So, hi everybody. So I suppose sorry now. For some reason there now, it's not going, my slides aren't going ahead for me now. Yeah, kind of stuck there now, 2 seconds now. All right, where we are. So the face behind Maura Mackey. So I suppose, who am I? So I suppose on a personal note, I suppose I am firstly a very easygoing person. I'm wife to Ken and mother to my 2 kids, Michael and Ben. I love all things interiors, and I'm the kind of person who eats the cake, buys the shoes, books the holiday, and I also think that life's for living and go get it if you want it, you know. So now I want to tell you a little about my business, Maura Mackey Design. So I'm an interior designer and stylist who works with both homeowners and businesses to remodel both residential and commercial spaces into modern contemporary designs. I also work with young professionals to create well-designed and functional homes, so that if they can start their new journey in life in the home they've always wanted, while saving them time and money. I also work on bespoke projects with clients that span all sizes and budgets. So a list of my services are, where do I work with people? So I suppose the first one I would have is new builds. So it is so important to involve an interior designer at the start of a new build. From a budget point of view, I advise how best to spend your money and what items will add value to your home, and to ensure your home design suits your needs. There's an awful lot of people build homes, but when they move into them, they realize they're not what they wanted, or that the spaces that they have aren't functioning for them as good as they can. So I also offer one room to full home designs. So I advise clients how to design or remodel from one room to full home designs. I always take into account, the client's needs and budget. I create the look the clients have in their heads, and I bring it into their home. The home fairy, so to speak. Renovation projects. If you have a space in your home that's not working for you, I can work with you to achieve the look or the feel of a space that you want to achieve. People often find this a daunting task, whereas I love the challenge to create spaces that enhance people's lives. Commercial projects. I work with business owners to create bright, comfortable, functional, but professional spaces aligned with their brand. I bring the business owner's vision for that company to life in a commercial space. I also do home staging. So you might ask, what is home staging? I help you showcase your home to its best potential. The goal of staging is to make a home appealing to the highest number of potential buyers, thereby selling a property more swiftly and for the desired price. I also do color consultations. Some people find it hard to pick a color in the home or for a room or a space. I advise you on a paint or wallpaper choice, taking into consideration your existing furnishings and light coming into your home. I also do personal shopping for clients for various projects. Now, I know some people out there, they love to go shopping, but there is some people out there that would prefer to leave it to professionals. When they want to get a home design done, they kind of go, oh, will you buy that stuff for me? And no better girl, I love shopping. Leave it to me and off I'll go. So what is my why in all of this? My why is I want to help people in their homes. I know I can create beautiful spaces for people to enjoy. Our homes are our castles. After COVID, I think we all really, really do appreciate our homes. We now realize how lucky we are to have them. And I think it's made us realize that, you know, if we can improve them or make them a better, more functional space for us, then why not? So now that you've learned a little bit about me, I'm going to tell you about my ups and downs of starting my own business. So firstly, I set up my own business in November 19. I'm just going to tell you all about my story, the before, the passion behind, and the motivation behind me, I suppose, starting my own business. Firstly, I built my own house over 20 years ago. I won't go into the details because in case you guess my age. I always loved interiors. This sparked the desire inside me to start an interior design course. And I done my interior design course in St. John's College, 2 nights a week for 2 years. I loved it all. I felt alive when I was doing this course. At the time, I was working as a buyer in Apple computers. Then I moved jobs, I had kids, but continued to keep my hand in the interiors cookie jar, so to speak. So at the time, I kind of done work for friends and family, as well as doing some add-on interior design courses all along the way. So about 4 years ago then, I done a retail display and design course in the College of Commerce. And I loved every minute of it. I was like, oh my God, this is really, really what I want to do. It brought out the creative side of me again. So before this and kind of during when I was doing the course, I also done a few extensions in my own home. So this spurred me on to do a start your own business course. I knew at this stage it was time and I was ready. I won't lie, lads, I was frightened, but I knew I needed to take the jump. It's a daunting thought, you might say to yourself, and it is, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You kind of say to yourself, what if I fail? What do people say? Is it not easier for me to actually just get a wage at the end of the week? You know, a guaranteed wage to pay your bills and stuff like that. These are all normal thoughts. I had them all in my head, believe me. But listen to your inner self. You know, if you can dream it in your head, or if you can believe that you can do it, give yourself the chance to do it. So off I went. I made an appointment with the Cork Enterprise Board, the South Cork Leo. I went in and out to the advice clinics for a few weeks. And I kind of went, oh my God, what am I doubting myself, saying, oh, is this really what I want to do? Am I mad? So then I came out one day and I kind of went, you know, I met one of the guys in the advice clinics, and he said, you know, what part do you want to do? You need to kind of single out, no, Maura, what you want to do. And I said, okay, I want to do staging. I want to do interior design. I want to do, you know, help people with, you know, how they're going to make out in designs for their house. And he said to me, I know, but you kind of need to focus in a few areas. And then I came out that day and I said, okay, right, I need to think of how do I really want to help people? What areas will I help people? So I came home that evening and I looked up the local enterprise website, and I know that the man had mentioned to me a few times about the mentoring. So I said, I kind of think that maybe I need a small bit of help on the mentoring side of things, you know, maybe to maybe, you know, guide me in the right direction. So then I applied for the mentoring program to get help from a marketing point of view for my business. I got help from a fab marketing lady on the mentor list. I had no idea where to start. Like, I knew I needed business cards, but I wasn't sure how to market myself. And I also work with a fab coach in Port McSherry. So I can honestly say these two ladies truly believed in me and spurred me on to where I am today. So in November 19, I kicked off Mackey Design, interior styling for your home and business. To say I was nervous was an understatement. I had a business name now, so I had to put my big girl pants on. But I knew I was ready. That makes sense. So I started home visits, dealing with clients in their homes, their own homes, creating beautiful designs for their homes and businesses. I will always remember my first job going in under my, as I always say, my MMD umbrella, so to speak. I went in that day and the nerves in my stomach were just unbelievable. I remember saying to myself, you can do this, you can do this. I went in and I met the most lovely couple, and they made me feel so comfortable. I remember walking out that door to myself that day and said, you can do this, Mackey, with a kind of giddy laugh in myself saying, you know what, girl, you can do it, go do it. So what were my big challenges as a new business owner? So for me, honestly, I can say putting my face on social media, it was so scary. Seeing your face on videos, you literally see everything that's wrong on the video and nothing that's right. I don't know how many times in my first videos, I remember saying, Maura Mackey, this is what you can do, and basically, it was like my favorite word, and basically. So I suppose tip and note to self is, don't ask your family members to give their opinions, because if you if you do, you do another one again. I mean this in the nicest way possible. They'll say, oh, Maura should have said this, Maura shouldn't have said that. And then you kind of really go back and say, oh my God, did I really look that bad? You're nearly better off getting your advice from strangers. And I suppose you kind of forgive strangers their words, but you might necessarily forgive your family. In business, I know this was a must do for me in my business, as my competitors were all there, out there on social media. But I faced the challenge and made a fool of myself a few times. Yes, I did. But that's okay. So the second thing, I suppose, is I won't lie, hands up, I'm not a one bit techie. I found that very, very challenging. Learning about blogs, how to set up a business Instagram page, Facebook account. So I suppose if I can give any word of advice, look up your local enterprise board. And there's loads of courses there, free courses. I found the Instagram for business and for beginners, and the Facebook for beginners was fabulous. And you know what? There's always something there. There's one video conference, so do those ones as well. So another tip I can say is setting yourself up as a business owner, doing the first yearly accounts. I can honestly say, if I can give you any advice, at the start of a new year, account year now, set yourself up an Excel spreadsheet. So much easier than trying to remember what money was spent when you need to submit these. It's just there as you're going along. Maybe make a note yourself at every Friday or maybe even every Monday morning. Spend 10 minutes, like, what do I spend my money on, my expenses for my business? Or maybe you have a friend who could help you out with accounts. Or maybe she could help you and show you the ropes for the first year. So what's my advice to people in business at this stage? So I suppose after doing all that and feeling the pain of all my little things that I kind of had imposter syndrome about, is make sure, join a local enterprise board. Do the advice clinics, apply for mentoring. It's invaluable. There are so many free online classes here. Join them. They're there for everyone. When you're in business 6 months also with the enterprise board, there's a TOV voucher. That's a trading online voucher. It's like basically the enterprise board give you money towards setting up your website. Number two, I'll always say it, and I think was one of the best things I've done as well, is get a business coach. You know, you might think that you're doing everything okay, but the business coach will always tell you the wrongs and right. They'll point you in the right direction. I suppose they'll help you not make a fool of yourself. And they'll encourage you. They'll be your cheerleader, and everybody needs a cheerleader when you're starting off in business. I know I did anyway. I'll talk to anyone, you know, have a conversation with anyone, but just putting yourself out there, I find it a bit daunting sometimes. So next thing would be join a network group. I joined Network Cork, and I can honestly say this was just an eye-opening thing for me to do. I met other light-hearted women, light-hearted minded women in business. Everybody was there to help each other. Kind of, you know, if you didn't know something, kind of like guide each other. You know, Maura, you could do this, and you're kind of, oh my God, yeah, I never thought of that. Also suggest to join network groups that link into your area of expertise. You'd be surprised how much information you will learn from fellow members of various different groups. I found people very kind and generous with their time. Or what you could do as well is maybe do some skill swaps, help each other out this way. Now, the other thing I recommend is find a few new business buddies. You might have met these people on courses or at your Start Your Own Business course. You can run business stuff off each other. Maybe you could help each other out in your own various areas of expertise in your business. So, and one thing I will say is, you know what now, if you do get a knockback, you know what now, it's not nice, I won't lie. You kind of go, oh my God, I knew I should have stayed in that job. I shouldn't have bothered went out on my own. You know what, take the knock, and think of what went wrong and maybe improve for the next time. Think about it and then put it to bed. Start the next day as a new chapter. Dust yourself off, so to speak. Social media is a must for new businesses. So face your fear. So how I helped myself overcome the fear of camera was, I done a video conference course. I know the Enterprise Ireland do it, but there's also a few ladies online there that do it. They're fabulous. They give you practice. They tell you what to look out for. They tell you what different items to get for your own home office, so that you know that you're equipped to do the right job. And I suppose practice, practice, and practice. You know, if it means you have to re-record a couple of times, do it. That's okay. It's better to make a fool of yourself on your own phone than make a fool of yourself on what you're posting. And you know what? Even if you do feel it's something that you put up there, I've learned now, obviously at the start I didn't, I've learned now to say, you know what, Maura, people like, you know, seeing the real you. I don't always have to have my hair perfect. I don't always have to have the right makeup with the right top on. People relate to people, and we're all human at the end of the day. So I suppose over the months I've done several takes on my social media, videos recorded. I also done several soapboxes and presentations. Any of the different associations you're in, I remember doing a takeover in Network Cork, and I'll always remember the first morning I went down to do my presentation. I remember the network president was there, and I was nervous, and she knew I was nervous. She was there beforehand. And I remember when it came to sharing my screen, I was like, oh my God, it's not working. And I remember somebody said, it's okay, we'll work it out. I was after sending my slides on it beforehand anyway. Took it over, took it all off me. But you know what? At the end of the day, if I didn't have the slides, I could have spoken about my business. I could have went through it. And it's just like, everybody's human, and we all make mistakes, and these things happen at live events. But I have to say, it was a learning curve for me. And I learned to say, you know what, Maura, if it didn't work out, then you know what? Nobody died, so it was okay. So also, the other thing I was going to say to you is, if there's a skill you need to learn, find out the most effective way to learn it for you. Don't sign up to, like, say, a course that will take 3 nights a week if you have a young family, or even if you have a family and you know you're going to be out and about, because you're not going to stick to it. Do a 1 night a week course. Don't be too hard on yourself. You'll get there. It might take you a bit longer, but you will get there. Sorry, I know lads, I'm a bit slow. My slides, apologies. So my next slide is, I was working away happy out with my clients, and next thing, what happened? COVID hit. I had to cancel all my appointments. I remember saying to myself, well, Mackey, you're goose now. You waited all this time to set up your business, and now your business is going to go down the Swanee. And genuinely, I said to myself, oh my God, you know, it's a disaster. I won't lie. I wanted to crawl under the duvet. Plus, there was a small bit of feeling sorry for myself in there too, saying, oh my God, I waited too long. You know what? No, you should have done it years ago. You know, why did you put yourself out there sooner? So I always remember, probably 2 or 3 days into it, I kind of said, okay, dust yourself off now, Mackey. What are you going to do? Do you remember this Wednesday morning, my coach rang me and said, well, what are you going to do now, Maura? So I said to her, stay in bed. Honestly, that's what I said to her. I'm going to stay in bed. She was like, no, dust yourself off now and start working on your business admin stuff. Because at the time, none of us knew what we were going to do or what was the next step to, you know, when COVID hit us, we were all afraid of our lives, what was going to happen with our families. And so my work and my business, I suppose, kind of came second. So I said to myself, what do I need to get done now that I didn't have a chance to do before I set up in November? So there was so much admin stuff that I needed to, so I concentrated on that. So she offered to be my accountability buddy. So she rang me weekly. So I just said, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah, it's crap, but look, this is not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be in your business. I knew I was not going to let this be my story. So what did I do from there? So I dust myself off. I joined network events, coffee mornings on Zoom, learned new skills. And this was a whole new challenge for me, but I embraced it. I started following, commenting on people's social media. This afforded me the chance to get to know other interior designers, other businesses related to interiors up and down the country, and even in the UK. As a result of my Facebook and Instagram, I joined people on webinars, I joined them on lives, and I love the chats with people. And everybody was trying to help everybody at this time. So my fear of appearing on camera slowly but surely left me. So I then started new courses on Zoom during the lockdown, a new masterclass in the US for interior design, a home staging business course, a colour psychology course. I learned new technical skills to help myself. No, I won't lie, and I'll always tell everybody that knows me this. Techie isn't my thing, and if somebody can help me with it, or if I can pay someone to help me with it, then I'd prefer to do that because it's not my thing. So where did I go from there? So I probably wouldn't have pushed myself to do a lot of these things for maybe a year on in, but because I had to, I did. So from another point of view, I knew I needed to help people in their homes at this time. There was people now at home. They had time now finally to do projects that they probably had put off for years. They probably put these jobs on the long finger, but now they had time. So I wondered, how would I pivot my business to make this work? I was like, can't go into their houses. I can't bring my stuff to show them color paints and samples and stuff like that. How can I help these people? How can I help these people if I can't go into their houses? I was kind of going, So to be honest with you, I'd go to think to myself, I could, if I could see their space the same, at least I knew I could help them. So once again, put the big girl pants on, came out and had a chat to myself and a few friends. I kind of went, oh my God, people were all thinking the same. Oh my God, how are we going to pivot our business? How are we going to make this work? A lot of people were facing the same fears as me of the COVID challenges. And then I came up with a plan. So how would I now do my interior design consults? How would I help people? So I said, do you know what, Maura? You can do it on Zoom. You're doing breakout rooms and you're doing coffee mornings on Zoom. Why can't you help people with their interior design projects on Zoom? Yeah, people mightn't like them. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, I don't really like Zoom. I'd prefer if you were in the space. But you know what? You have to crack eggs to make omelets, I always say to people. So I thought Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. So you would not believe the amount of people I had, anywhere from 75-year-old ladies that were coming around their houses, showing me spaces that they needed help with, down to new builds, down to your ordinary person like ourselves here looking for help. So firstly, how I managed to get what I needed to know, I sent potential clients questionnaires to fill out about their space, where they needed my help. I asked them to send on videos of their rooms that they needed to be redesigned. And I said, when you're kind of going around in the video now, tell me where you need help, what you don't like about the space. And I won't lie, I was kind of thinking to myself at the time, if I needed the videos, because at least when I was watching the videos, I could imagine myself in that space. And I could kind of transport myself into their home and kind of imagine myself in there. So then at least I had an idea how I can help these people before I went on the 1 hour Zoom call. Then on the Zoom call, we created a look they were trying to achieve on their own, but they couldn't. I offered mood boards and sources and suggest lists. These are lists of furniture, art, rugs, and anything from an interiors point of view. They could buy online to create the look that they were trying to achieve. So any question that was there, I've said, okay, go over to that corner there now, show me that. Okay, go back over there now to the other window and point it out the other way. There's ways of doing things, ways of pivoting your business. If something's not working, think again. Maybe there's something else you can do to kind of help your client. So what were my positive outcomes from COVID for me? Yes, there was a lot of negatives, and yes, I had to pivot my business. And when it happened, I genuinely could have went under the duvets. But when I'm thinking back, when I was thinking up of this presentation for today, I said, you know what, Maura? COVID was good to you too in a lot of ways. I met an awful lot of nice people. I met an awful lot of other business and stuff like that. So my positive outcomes from COVID would be, 1, push myself out of my comfort zone. And it definitely made me more resilient. I always say to people, well, my mom used to say it to me too, every day is a school day. And I really, really do believe this since I started my own business. I met people in interiors the world up and down the country. I probably wouldn't have met them so soon in my business only for COVID, because through different webinars and different networking groups, I met them, and different associations I was involved in and different courses I was doing. COVID afforded me that. I was asked onto people's lives on Facebook and Instagram to talk about various areas of my business. I've done an awful lot more courses online in interiors, home staging. Learn loads about various areas of interior products, as I had time to.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, I think something's happened with your sound, Maura.
All right, okay.
Maybe we're better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, lads. So, where was I? Okay, so I suppose I had more time at home because I wasn't traveling from A to B. I wasn't going in the car in the morning, gone at 9, not home at 5 in the evening. I had time in between my Zoom calls. So I was able to do extra courses and stuff like that. So I also learned more tech stuff about Zoom because I had to, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to do my business. So, and it also afforded me the chance to be able to be at home to actually book my appointments and consults around, like if there was weekly coffee mornings that I loved attending or network events, it gave me an opportunity to be at home, to be there for that. So if you're asking yourself, how can you ask for help if you find yourself a bit lost in a startup? Let me tell you, nobody knows everything. I didn't. There's loads to learn. So anyone starting out in business knows exactly how it feels. And it's okay not to know everything. Think of it like this. Everyone was in your shoes someday. And also reach out to people in the area of your expertise, or maybe in other areas. Like, for example, I reached out to a load of people when it came to tech stuff. I needed help. I said, guys, I'm not tech savvy. Please help me. If you help me in this, maybe I can help you with something else. These days, people relate to people. People are very kind these days. If you don't want to contact someone in your local area, maybe there's someone up the country you can contact. Maybe it's too near home or whatever that you follow. Maybe there's someone that you follow on Instagram or a network that could help. Look at people's Facebook or Instagram posts, or their pages or their websites. Maybe you could do something like they do, but put your own twist in it. Join networking groups. This is very important when you are in a new startup business. It helps you get your name out there. It helps you to meet new people. You might meet people on these networks that you might in turn be working with down the line. There's nothing better than seeing a friendly face at the end of a call, or when you go into an empty room of new people that you're going to be working with, or that you're hopefully trying to pitch in, your business and your project ambitions for that commercial space or different designs, to have that friendly face across the room. Educate yourself. YouTube was my best friend, I have to say. Have a nose on YouTube. There's nothing there that you can't learn. And also, there might be somebody that that has those skills, and they'll help you. I definitely think it's a great idea to join entrepreneur groups on social media. People help people. Ask yourself, what services are available in your industry? Cold call if you have to. Put yourself out there. And I suppose the other big thing I would say to people is that say yes and then worry about it after. Because none of us would do anything if we kept saying no, and you kind of lose your confidence a bit if you keep saying no. So my new motto when I started 2021 is say yes, Maura, and you can worry about it after. So I suppose the big thing I was saying to myself is that how was I going to know, after being in lockdown for so many months, going to face the world? Because honestly, I can say to you, Zoom consults seem more normal to me now than me going out to people's houses. And I won't lie, I loved going out to people's houses. I love seeing new spaces, their homes, helping them create spaces. So I love, the big thing for me is when I go into someone's houses, I love, that feeling of meeting someone face to face. You get to know people and take them on a journey with you to create a well-designed functional space for them and their family and their home. So I'm going to battle that feeling and keep going and do what I do best, which is creating beautiful areas for people in their homes, and have a new chapter in my story. So the next slide I say to people is, what are my learnings or outcomes from all this, from starting my own business? So It's okay not to be okay all of the time. Not everyone knows everything. New businesses are always on a learning curve. Try to be resilient. Sometimes it's not easy, I know that. But you know what? If you have a bad day, dust yourself off and bring your best self back to business again the following day. Learning new skills is a challenge, but there's a great feeling of accomplishment after. I used to challenge myself to learn something new every day or every week, no matter how small. This could be me asking my daughter even to put a story up on Instagram Reels. Mom, what do you want to do Reels for? She says to me. I goes, Michaela, because I need to do Reels for my business. And you know what? It was funny. Find your tribe. Surround yourself with people who want you to succeed. They'll be delighted for you. People that are positive, energetic, loyal. And also be hopeful for your future as a business owner. Have faith in yourself. Stand tall. Have integrity. I know one book that I bought myself is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I read that book a few times because I don't know how many times I actually did feel the fear before an event, or maybe before going to a client that I kind of went, oh God, they sound like, as if, I suppose I just kind of felt a small bit on edge going to, different people and different projects. But you know what? They're normal people like myself. They needed me to show them the way from a design point of view. It's okay to be ambitious. Set yourself goals. I won't lie, I am hungry in my business. I have thought to myself, where am I going to be in a year's time, 3 years' time, and 5 years' time? I have lists of tasks I want done in my business. For example, I would like to see myself to be known in Cork as a go-to interior design person. I want to develop an online program for interior design. There's a few more courses I want to. And a big thing for me is I want to have a caddy van with my name, Maura Mackey Design in it. I know it's probably, but it's just my thing. I've always, since day one, I've always said, I'd love to see my little van going around Cork and kind of go, oh my God, that's my van. And I suppose the last thing I'll always say to people, dream big. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. If I gave up on my dream over 20 years ago, I wouldn't be here right now. I kept delving into the interiors. I kept, yes, other things distracted me, families, work, paying bills, obviously. But you know what? I'm so, so delighted that 5, 6 years ago, I decided, okay, Maura, take the plunge. Get back into interiors. It's what you always wanted to do. Don't deny yourself. So thank you very much for listening to me today. And if you have any questions and you'd like to know anything else, just shout. And thank you very much.